things are possible. And we are told in Matthew that if you have the faith as a grain of mustard seed, and you say to this mountain, you say to this challenge, you say to this upset, you say to this dis-ease, you say to whatever is going on that looks like a problem, remove hence. And it does. Because why? Because with God, all things are possible to them that believe. All right? It is done unto us as we believe in our hearts. Because this is the easiest thing in the world to, we speak it, but to embody it. This morning, we're going to make the longest journey on the planet. And do you know what journey that is? It's the 18-inch journey from the head to the heart. Do we get that? From the head to the heart. Because if we cannot feel it, we cannot heal it, right? So this morning, as we look at my topic, which is infinite possibilities, if you have the faith as a grain of mustard seed, and you say to this situation, you say to this mountain, you say to this whatever is looming in the energy field, remove hence. It does. Because with God, all things are possible. And it does not matter what name we put on our higher power. Buddha, Father, Mother, Universal Mind, Allah, it matters not. But to acknowledge that which is within each and every one of us is greater than that which resides in the world. And as these appearances, conditions, and effects show up in our life that we have given our power away to, suddenly what? We own our power. We know that with God, all things are possible. And we say to these outer things, remove hence. And they do. Now, when I was 19 years old, many of you know my story that I was raised in domestic violence. And I had some very, very scary negative thoughts about not wanting to be on the planet. And my mother gave me a book. And the book was The Power of Positive Thinking by Dr. Norman Vincent Peale. And I read that book, and it took me from this very scary place that I was experiencing to the light of day. And one of the things that Dr. Peale stated in his book was become a possibilitarian. A possibility thinker, no matter how dark things are, no matter what is going on in our lives, shine the light of possibility on it, that there are choices. And I believe the moment of enlightenment is the moment that we understand we have a choice. Choose thee this day whom you will serve, right? We can serve the negative. We can serve all of the outer things that are going on, and we can share them with others, and we can create a sympathetic vibration, and others will come into the energy field and agree with us. I don't want that kind of agreement. I want to shine my light on what's going on. I want to shine my light on the coronavirus. I want to shine my light on the negativity that comes up. I want to shine my light on everything foreign from the divine design. And as I shine my light on it, what? It returns to its native nothingness from whence it came, because the truth is, it is neither person, place, nor thing. It is the life and the energy that we give to it. And remember what Tesla said? If you want to know the secrets of life, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. That takes it out of the realm of personality into principle. We're not all going to vibrate at the same frequency. That's not bad or good. It just is. In fact, Dr. Fritz Perls said, I am not in this world to live up to your expectations. And you are not in this world to live up to my expectations. I am I, and you are you, and if by chance we find each other, it's beautiful. And if not, it can't be helped. We're not vibrating at the same frequency. It's not good and it's not bad. It's just that we're not vibrating at the same vibrational level. So what I know is that everyone that crosses our path is there. It's a divine appointment. And that we can just acknowledge that each person that crosses our path energetically is some part of us. So when we dust when Jesus said to his disciples, if you're not met with love and peace, dust your feet off and walk your way in peace. And as we walk our way in peace, we don't take on all of the experiences. We release them, we let them go, we return them to the universe. So in looking at infinite possibilities, with God, whatever we conceive our God to be, whatever name we put on our higher power, all things are possible. So when things loom up in our experience, we have the ability to see through them and past them. Now, I was sharing with my grandson, who's here visiting for a couple of days, that when I was 11 years old, I gave my very first sermon. And I had this sandbox. In fact, my sister and I begged my father to build us a playhouse. And as far as he got was like the bottom, and then he did some sides, and then he had it filled with sand. So it became a sandbox. It was not a playhouse. But 11 years old, the sandbox was just sitting there, not utilized. I turned it on its side, and the little community church that I used to walk to in the San Fernando Valley used to give out calendars, and they had beautiful pictures of Jesus, Mary, Joseph, the apostles, beautiful pictures. So I cut out the pictures and I pasted them on the side that the sandbox was facing the dirt. It was my first pulpit. And the very first sermon I gave, and in our way of life we call them messages, but in those days it was a sermon, I talked about the loaves and fishes, and I invited all the neighborhood kids. And the Holy Communion was peanut brittle, and everyone who listened received the gift of the Holy Communion peanut brittle. And the ones that didn't listen, they didn't receive it. It was very, very conditional. And I was sharing with my grandson that Jimmy Rose always interrupted my sermon, so he just did not get the peanut brittle. It was very, very conditional in those days. I've grown a lot since those days, but think about when we think about infinite possibilities. Here I was at 11 years old. I'm doing my very first sermon, not realizing that years later I would be in seminary at the United Church of Religious Science studying metaphysics. And remember, religious science, the laws of science, the opinions of philosophy, the revelations of religion applied to human need and the aspirations of every living soul. So when we look at the laws of science, that's cause and effect. That's karma. Karma is the law of cause and effect. So when we open the space in metaphysics, we include all of it. So I did not ever envision myself. I was taking the Science of Mind classes, and there was nothing else to take except the School of Ministry. And my husband said, "You're a natural." And I was teaching self-image psychology at the university level. And he said, "You're a natural. Just, if you do nothing with it, it'll be wonderful, wonderful information and training." And so I registered for the School of Ministry, and the classes were amazing. I had amazing teachers. I had Dr. Marcus Bach, who taught comparative world religions. He was actually the uncle of Richard Bach, who wrote Jonathan Livingston Seagull, and just some wonderful experiences. And then I was voted in as president of the School of Ministry. I was the very first female to ever be voted in as the president of the School of Ministry. And there was a banquet, and I was seated next to none other than Dr. Norman Vincent Peale. And I could tell him the story when I was 19 years old, and how I was in a very dark place, and that my mother gave me his book, The Power of Positive Thinking, and it changed my life. And I became a possibilitarian. And I am an idealist by nature. And to me, the glass is never even half full, because there's what? Half water and half air. The glass is always full for me. So as we go within to that secret place of the Most High within each of us, the infinite possibilities are within us. We came in with it by virtue of the fact that we chose to be here to fulfill a destiny, to open ourselves to be of service, that we're not just here to what? Make a living. We're here to make a difference. And when we understand that, and the clarity is power. When we understand that, things just open up for us. And when I was 4 years old, I was entered into kindergarten, and I was very, very social. And it was interesting. The teacher sent me to the Cloak Room. In those days, it was called a Cloak Room. And I went in, and it was like infinite possibilities. There was all these sacks of cookies, and there were some sandwiches and potato chips, and I was just into everything, thinking, look at these infinite possibilities. Not exactly those words, but I was like a really happy little 4-year-old kid. And then, the bell rang, and we shared the room with the first graders. And as we were leaving, my mother said, "How was it?" I said, "Oh, it was wonderful. They sent me to this room, and there were cookies and potato chips and lots of goodies." And she said she could hear little kids going into their sacks saying, "Where's my potato chips? Who ate my cookies? Where's my sandwich?" For me, it was infinite possibilities, right? But, I didn't realize that kids brought their lunches. I just thought I went in and, wow, look what the universe gave to me. I'm the luckiest kid on the planet. So, it's interesting. When life does give us lemons, we have the choice to make lemonade, as cliche as that may sound, but it is the truth. We have infinite possibilities. If we're sent to the Cloak Room, wow, look at what the universe has in store for me. And it's all delicious. So we have these little journeys that we've taken along the way. And as we allow God to do what God does best, which is what? To extend love one to the other. That's what God does best by means of each and every one of us. And that when we become possibilitarians, I love that, possibilitarians, and we say to this mountain, we say to this problem, we say to this challenge, we say to whatever is going on, remove hence. It does. Because with God, all things are possible. Whatever we conceive our God to be, whatever name we put on our higher power, it matters not. So today, on this glorious July morning where we're gathered, and I want to really acknowledge our virtual community, that we're all gathered here together because we heard the call, right? Before they call, I will answer. And while they're yet speaking, I will hear. We heard the call, we showed up, and showing up is 90% of life. And the other 10% is up to us to put in the effort, to put the works with the faith, to put actions with intentions. And this month has been about the evolution revolution, where I resolve to evolve, that as things come up, that I have had the ability to see through them and come out on the other side. And when we come out on the other side, there is greater understanding, greater energy, greater aliveness and vitality to be in the world, but of a higher spiritual vibratory frequency. So this is my birthday week. It's heaven at 77, right? And as I go forth into life in this 46 years that I've been serving the New Thought movement as a minister, I feel it's an honor and a privilege that no one deals more intimately with the human condition than that of minister. That I have found myself in some amazing, amazing experiences. And as we step in to this reality and acknowledge that when we say yes to life, that the opening just gets larger. The portal we step into the portal, it gets larger. And I have found that in the 1,000 words that, will save the world, number 12 is love is all there is. God is love, and they that dwelleth in love dwelleth in God, and God in them. Whatever you conceive your God to be, whatever name you put on your higher power, it matters not. But to acknowledge it is within us, each and every one of us. So I thank you for being part of us. I'm very thrilled to have my family here for a couple of days from Arizona. And the opportunity this week, we're going to gather at 849 Restaurant in Palm Springs to celebrate with my spiritual family that we really haven't gathered. I had a little gathering here on Easter and Palm Sunday, and, very small little gathering. And we'll have, a loving gathering this week. But I feel that each birthday is a promise that we're giving to ourselves to live our life to the fullest, to acknowledge that we are here by right of consciousness, and that as we open together, we expand our circle of life, don't we? We expand our circle of life. I think Emerson said it best. He said, life is a self-evolving circle, wheel within wheel, moving out into ever-widening circles toward infinity. Life is filled with infinite possibilities. Blessed are they who have eyes that see, who have ears that hear, and who has a heart that understands. That makes all the difference. So whatever it is in life that we are confronting this day, there are the loaves and fishes that we say to these 5 loaves and 2 fishes, thank you, Father, that thou hast heard me, right? What did Jesus do? He offered it up. Thank you, Father, that thou hast heard me. And I know that thou hearest me always. He gave thanks. And when he gave thanks, the substance multiplied, didn't it? And I think at 11 years old, that was such a profound moment for me. It was such a miraculous moment that Jesus could give thanks, and the possibility, the energy could multiply. And it's the same for each and every one of us. So I know that we're all going somewhere. Where is it? Higher yet. Where is it? Higher yet. Where is it? Higher yet. For I am in a high place, and I will not come down. None of these outer things move me. I am in a high place, and I will not come down. So I say to you, namaste. The divinity within me salutes the divinity within you, and the divinity within you salutes the divinity within me. And if I am in that place in me, and you are in that place in you, there is only one of us. Namaste. Shalom, the peace that passes all understanding. And God bless us, every single one. And so it is. Thank you so much. I love you. And it's a joy to be with you on this glorious day.